So good afternoon everyone. We are the reporter of Group 2, Scenario Analysis, Cultural Relativism in Practice. The scenario is an international aid organization is working in a community where a traditional custom requires young girls to marry as soon as they reach puberty. This practice often leads to girls dropping out of school and having children at a very young age, which has been shown to negative health and economic impact in both the mothers and their children. The aid worker is struggling to decide how to approach the situation. So my report is absolute cultural relativism approach. The question is, how would an aid worker following the principles of absolute cultural relativism view these situations? What would be like their likely course of action and why? Our answer is an aid worker who follow absolute cultural relativism would respect the community traditional custom of requiring girls to marry as soon as they reach puberty. They would avoid intervening because this approach holds that all cultural practices are valid and should not be judged using internal standards. So, additional questions is, should the international aid organization intervene in a cultural practice that is harmful to young girls, or should it respect the community's traditions based on the principle of cultural relativism? Yes, dapat makialam ang aid organization kasi ang pangunahing layunin ng aid organization ay panatilihin ang karapatan at kalusugan ng mga kababaihan. Kailangan gawin ng aid organizations na makausap ang leader o kapitan ng isang komunidad na may paggalang at ipaliwanag ang possible epekto ng kalusugan ng mga kababaihan at may bigay ng mga alternatibong mga solusyon na hindi mawawala ang paggalang sa kanilang kultura. Halimbawa ng alternatibong solusyon ay isa na dito ang edukasyon at kamalayan. Dahil sa edukasyon, mapapalawak ang kaisipan ng mga babae o kaalaman patungkol sa negatibong epekto sa maagang pagpapakasal.
This is my assigned topic, so their likely course of action would be to accept the practice as part of the community's cultural identity, even if it causes harm such as early pregnancies, health risk, and loss of education for young girls. Why? Because absolute cultural relativism emphasizes non-interference, believing that no culture is superior to another. So, what we need to do is to accept their culture or beliefs, because cultural relativism nag-emphasize siya nga wala tayo right mo interact o mo interfere sa beliefs or culture sa uban.
In some indigenous groups in the Philippines, such as certain Lumad communities in Mindanao, early arranged marriage are practiced to strengthen family or tribe ties. So, some indigenous groups in the Philippines, such as certain Lumad communities here in Mindanao, na sila kaugalian nga early arranged marriage para daw mas mapanindot ang relationship sa family or tribes. Bawal makialam ang outsiders, even this practice is against siya sa national law. So, ang rason nga nung bawal makialam ang outsiders is para sa lahat, tanang kultura is pantay-pantay o walay bisan kinsa ang naay right ang namuingon nga tama sila kaysa sa uban.
Good day everyone, I am Mariah Odias and I am from Group 2. I am going to tackle about the critical cultural relativism approach. How would an aid worker following the principles of critical cultural relativism view this situation? What specific questions would they ask and what would be their likely course of action? An aid worker applying critical cultural relativism would not just accept the practice at face value. Instead, they would critically examine who benefits, who is harmed, and what power dynamics are at play. This approach acknowledges cultural tradition but also questions whether these practices violate human rights or perpetuate inequality. So, ang aid worker i-apply tuod nila ang critical cultural relativism but dili lang kay kanang ila idawat but kanang gihuna-huna gid nila kung kinsa ang makabenepisyo o kinsa ang mga ma-harmed o unsa nga power dynamics ang naaana o kining approach ga-acknowledge siya sa cultural tradition but also ga-question siya whether kini nga practice maka-violate ba siya sa imong human rights or mag-perpetuate ba siya og inequality. In a community where young girls are married at puberty, who within the culture benefits from this practice, who is the disadvantage, and what are the underlying power dynamics that allow this tradition to continue despite its negative impacts on the girls. In some communities, young girls are married off soon as they reach puberty. This practice is common because it brings economic or social benefits to the families of the girls and the grooms. However, the girls themselves suffer because they lost on education, independence, and faced health risk. This happens because of the power dynamics at play, where men have control on social norms, prioritize family connections, and male authority. These factors allow the tradition to continue even though it harms the girls involved. So, ang young girls is ginakasal sila if makaabot na sila sa puberty. Kini nga practice, common ni siya tungod kay gadala siya og kanang economic or social benefits sa mga families sa girls o sa grooms. However, ang girls themselves mag-suffer sila tungod kay kanang loss on education, independence, o mag-face sila og kanang mga health risk. Kini mahitabo ni siya tungod kay ang power dynamics, unsa nga power dynamics ang naana og ang mga men na sila control og social norms nga gi-prioritize ang family connections and male authority. Kini nga factors galaw siya sa tradition na ipadayon bisan ma-harm ang mga girls nga involved ana.
Hello ma'am, magandang buhay. So I am Marlito Acaso, group number 2 member, and this is the one. My topic is the possible question of aid workers na muadto sa usa ka community na ang isa sa ilang culture is ang young girl o babae is ilang ipaminyo og sayo sa usa ka lalaki, either tigulang na nga lalaki siguro or unsa ba, basta usa ka lalaki, but ang babae is bata pa or underage. So the possible question sa mga aid worker to aid those culture o para ma-balance, then number one question nila is, are the girls genuinely consenting, o ang babae ba daw kuno is nag-agree siya o kinasing-kasing niya nga magminyo o minyoan to nga lalaki, or ang babae ba is na-pressure siya sa mga elders nila or tungod kay culture o tradition sa ilang lugar. So isa ka important question para makahuna-huna ang mga elders na kung tama ba sila. So number 2 question is, how does early marriage affect girls' health? So question dayon sa mga aid worker na ang pagminyo ba og sayo sa mga babae is makaapekto ba sa kalusugan sa usa ka babae, dili lang sa kalusugan and sa education o sa future sa maong babae. So mga tuno na syempre as a bata pa siya na early young pregnancy kabalutang adunay effect sa bata nga babae. So dili lang sa physical, siguro sa emotion, sa mental niya, then dili lang nga na pati sa education ug sa future sa mga babae makaguba jud siya. So mo tong ikaduha nga pangutana kung dili ba daw maka-affect sa health, education ug sa future sa maong babae. So number 3 question nila is possible question sa mga aid worker is, are there ways to respect cultural values while still protecting the rights of young girls? So doon na ba daw possible na pamaagi pa na ma-preserve ang culture nila, ang values ng culture, while ma-protect ang rights o katungod sa usa ka babae? Kay we all know naman na as sa batas sa national na dili jud pwede na pugson ng babae labi nag underage na magminyo, diba? So but sa uban nga community, sa mga tribes na sila ingana, so ang mga aid worker mo to dito to aid those nakita nila nga na mga problems sa mga butang nga kinabuhat ditong dapita nga maaaring makaguba sa health, sa human rights o sa education o sa future, specifically sa maong babae. So mao to, no? So after mahuman og pangutana mga aid worker sa maong pangutana, so katong mga tao dito, labi na katong mga elders sa mga community, so murag maablihan nilang mind ba nga tuod, no, nga maka-apekto jud sa health ba sa future o sa kaugmaon sa mga babae. Alam mo, ma-conscious sila ba sa mga tradition nila nga maka-apekto sa, specifically akong ginaingon, sa maong babae. So as Ma'am Precious aduna siya pangutana sa ako, so ang pangutana niya is ako nang pasahon, no? So who holds the power within the community to maintain the custom of child marriage, and how do this power structure prevent or suppress decent and social change from within? So ako nang state guy nag-ingon nga ang nag-hold sa maong power is katong mga elders, no? Yung mga elders sa maong community. So since nga culture Manila, syempre katong young girl ug ang family sa maong babae ma-pressure jud. So ma-pressure sila kay culture Manila, murag parehara jud sa kuan nga sa ato agihapon sa ato abang once na makahuman tag eskwela, no, pangitangan na yung trabaho, di ba? So maka-pressure jud. So maupod na sila murag kay ilamang culture o tradition. So once na maabot sa time na suguon sila sa mga elder nga buhaton na magminyo, so syempre ma-pressure pud sila. So dili lang mga elder, so apil lang mga silingan nila na mag-pressure sa ila nga dapat buhaton na nila tungod kay culture nila. So usa ka butang nga once na nga ilang mag-disagree sila sa ilang tradition o sa ilang culture nga mao lagi to, so adunay consequences o adunay ginawag nga punishment nga ihatag sa ila. So sa mga babae, dili lang sa babae, no, pati sa family sa maong babae. So for example, in a traditional rural village, adunay babae nga 14 years old. So nag-express siya nga gusto siya mo eskwela sa para sa iyang future, no? Instead na para sa iyang future, no? So but katong elder sa maong community kanang gi-pressure siya, gisugo tungod kay tradition man lagi nga magminyo na. So ang babae murag wala siyang kasing-kasing baka magminyo tungod kay underage pa man. So makaguba sa iyang pamilya, sa iyang edukasyon, sa iyang health o labaw sa tanan, sa iyang kaugmaon. So nibalibad siya sa maong tradisyon nila, sa sugo sa ilang elder, nagresist siya ba. So that in that case murag iyang gilabag ang iyang tradisyon o ang ilang culture. So katong ilang community mabina katong elder murag ma-disrespect ba, tungod kay lagi sila may hari dito, sila may elder, so ma-disrespect sila. So once na ma-disrespect sila, so muragwan ba kanang ilang i-pressure ang mga pamilya sa babae nga wala sila nagsunod sa culture nila. So adunay punishment once na mutanggi ka o dili ka mosugot sa maong culture o sa tradition nila. So adunay punishment na ihatag sa imo. So for example na lang, a very simple punishment is kanang, like for example mga verbal o physical abuse nga mga punishment, mga pagbiyay-biyay sa ila tungod kay wala man nagsunod sa culture, o gitawag nga kanang i-labeled sila as murag kuan ba, i-labeled sila sa ilang community na murag criminal bitaw, nga na murag lain ang pagtan-aw sa ila sulod sa ilang community tungod sa wala sila nagsunod sa ilang tradition. So isa pud ana is kanang sa economic bitaw, like for example aduna sa layuma kanang basakan. So instead na tabangan sila sa pagtanom o sa pag-ani, so dili na noon sila tabangan tungod kay ilang disrespect o dishonor katong tradition na ilang giila sa ilang community. So I think that's all. Siguro na answeran na ako ang question ni ma'am. So that's all, ma'am. So that's it. So thank you.
Good morning, ma'am. We are Group 2. I am Alvin Day Pianino, and this is the part of my report. In the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, or BARMM, child marriage has been a cultural and religious practice for some families. However, civil society groups and the Philippine government have worked with local leaders through respectful dialogue, leading to the Girls Not Brides campaign and the passage of the People Law banning child marriage in 2021. The law criminalizes child marriage but also encourages community-level education and cultural dialogue. Aid workers in BRMM have since worked with religions and tribal leaders to promote awareness from harmful effects of child marriage while still respecting Islamic and local tradition. This is an example of applying critical cultural relativism, acknowledging the culture but also working to protect children's rights. And this means that in Bangsamoro or in BRMM, they have the rights that protect their children from early marriage, or the law called Girls Not Brides, and this campaign passage of the Philippine banning the child marriage in 2021. And this law is protecting the child while respecting the culture of Muslims. And also, this is the additional question. In the context of Philippine government's law criminalizing child marriage, how can aid workers and civil society groups use a critical cultural relativism approach to respectfully challenge the practice within BRMM communities, ensuring that legal intervention does not alienate or undermine local culture and religious leaders but instead foster sustainable community-led change? And this is the answer. Aid workers should respect culture and religious values while addressing harmful effects of child marriage. They must partner with local leaders to build trust, encourage dialogue, framing change around shared goals like education, health, and dignity can create common ground. This should empower women and youth voices in decision making, promote positive traditions while discouraging harmful practices, ensure respect, offering alternatives and community-based programs helps reduce resistance. This way, the law support community lead sustainable change without alienation. Because of the law of girls not bride, they also protecting the child while respecting the tradition and the cultural of Muslims. And that's all. Thank you.
In the scenario, critical cultural relativism is more effective in addressing the challenges, while absolute cultural relativism promotes respect for cultural diversity, at rest allowing harmful practices to continue unchallenged, even when they negatively affect health, education, and human rights. Critical cultural relativism strikes a balance in respecting cultural traditions while still questioning practices that harm vulnerable groups. Also lead to possible change by engaging in community, understanding the reason of the culture, so our workers can collaborate to help and make better solution, but have a respect on the cultural values and protecting the human rights. Appreciating the absolute cultural relativism and critical cultural relativism. The absolute cultural relativism is the view holds that outsiders should not criticize or force their own moral or ethical standards in the other cultures, no matter how controversial the practice may seem. On the other hand, critical cultural relativism is an approach that analyzes cultural practices by considering power, dynamics, and social context. Critical cultural relativism questions who benefits from certain practices, what historical factors contribute to them, and how they impact different groups within the society. Another example scenario, eating with hands. Absolute cultural relativism. A tourist visits the Philippines and sees people eating with their hands during a budol fight. They think this is the culture, even if it feels uncommon to them. They fully accept it without question. In critical cultural relativism, another tourist also observed the practice. They understand that eating with hands is part of Filipino tradition and common community bonding. But if the same practice is done in a hospital setting without proper hygiene, they might question its appropriateness in the context because of the health risk.
Report the campaign against child marriage in Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao shows how respecting cultural and religious context while protecting girls' rights can bring about social progress and demonstrate that meaningful change happen when communities themselves are empowered to reflect on and modify harmful traditions. So the campaign proves that positive change is possible if we balance respect for culture with protection of human rights, and if the community is powered to lead the change themselves. For example, before many young girls were married at an early age, now parents are encouraged to send their daughters to school first, and programs like scholarship and livelihood support help families so they won't feel pressured to arrange early marriage. Question: when a cultural practice like child marriage has been identified as harmful, how can age organization and local advocates work with a community to challenge the underlying power structures that sustain the tradition without dismissing the community intercultural and religious identity? engage with local leaders and communities, build coalitions with traditional leaders and practitioners of harmful custom to domesticated laws and protection for younger involved community members.